Mantachie High School in northeast Mississippi has a long and proud tradition of agricultural education. Each year, many of the 350 students take classes in ag science, forestry, and meat science. And for the last quarter of a century, they've all been active in the FFA.
Our FFA chapter is very active. We're involved in all kind of leadership activities, summer camps, conventions. We go to national convention, we show livestock. And when a kid goes, we try to pay, the FFA tries to pay the way for these kids to go, because we don't feel a kid should be restricted because of their financial situation.
C.W. Franks is a graduate of Mantachie High and has been teaching at the school since 1989. He and fellow instructor Joe Rogers helped the students come up with projects to raise money for the FFA.
I know that we have a unique FFA program here because I've seen several throughout our state. We have some things here that I know a lot of them do not have, and some of them we did in the ways we described by doing our fundraisers.
Now, these fundraisers aren't your typical door-to-door wrapping paper sales. These are big-time projects that raise big-time money.
We have one of only 2 meat processing facilities in the state, in high schools. We teach kids the proper way to break down a deer because it's irrelevant to a beef carcass. It's the same cuts, and this way they have access to it where we don't have access to a tremendous amount of beef every year. We do plenty of white-tailed deer and can still learn all the cuts and the breakdowns and how to properly process it.
They processed about 350 deer this winter, but they can also process beef and hogs.
We have 1 beef hanging in the cooler right now. We'll do 10 to 15 beef a year. We'll do about 100 hogs each year. Those are pretty much the majority of what we do and have availability of.
In addition to the meat lab, these students also have a working sawmill.
Using the sawmill, they are learning more about, instead of just going to the store and getting the lumber, they're seeing what the sawmills and loggers are doing to actually get that product on the shelf for them that they normally go buy. They're learning board footage. They can figure out each day in a class period how much board footage they can cut in one period and figure out ways to be able to be more efficient, less waste, and be able to up their board footage with certain things they do in measuring and setting the sawmill.
We was just running the sawmill to cut up some lumber for us to build a shed to actually put the sawmill under for a more permanent spot. We also use it more for if somebody wants to bring in lumber for them to cut up and build a bench, or say build them whatever they want to that they can't get at a hardware store. We just cut it up here.
The money they make from all these projects is kept at the local bank and is watched over by the FFA officers.
We try to use all the money raised by the students on the students. It may be in the form of fixing a piece of equipment or carrying them to a livestock show and helping pay for their hotel room or their entry fee.
And the kids really appreciate the program and the instructors that make it work.
Mr. Joe, my teacher, he's a really good teacher. He taught me more than what I should know. This program, I don't think it could get any better.
We do have a good FFA program going here, and I'm thankful for having all this stuff because I know a lot of people don't get to do this stuff when they're in high school, and some people probably don't even use the stuff that we use in their life after they get out of high school. Some of the stuff that we do here we can take on and make a career or something out of it. Help pass it down to generation. Mr. Joe and Mr. C.W., they ought to get a lot more thanks for what they do, because without them, this ag program or anything else that we have out here would not be possible.
This program is not just about passing on knowledge. It's about preparing these young people to be well-rounded citizens and partners in the agriculture community.